Now I know what you're gonna say. Where have you been? Where are the videos? Why haven't you done a Sonic tier list yet? But don't worry, my friends, I have come here to rectify that mistake expeditiously with my Sonic tier list. This is just gonna be the mainline games, just Sonic 1 to Sonic Frontiers, nothing else, no racing games, no portable games. I'm probably gonna do a separate video where I include all those things, but to be honest with you, I haven't actually played a lot of those things, so we will see. But anyway, time to start with Sonic 1. I have really only played this game one time, and you know, it was fine. It felt really weird not having the spin dash because I started with this series much later than Sonic 1. So it did have a little bit of a learning curve because it felt a lot very limiting without the spin dash. It's classic Sonic at its most classic. So I mean, at the very least, I don't think it was bad or anything. It was the start of something great. We'll hit it with an A tier. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, funny enough, I know I said I wasn't doing mobile games, but I actually played and beat Sonic 2 for the first time on my phone in the middle of class in high school. And I tell you what, that final boss was a bitch to beat with just touch controls on a small little iPhone, but I still very much enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it more than Sonic 1. And I think I would probably be attacked if I didn't hit Sonic 2 with the S tier. So we're gonna give our first S tier to Sonic 2. You know what? You know what? I'm gonna do something controversial. I'm gonna drop Sonic 1 to B and Sonic 2 to A. Because me personally, I wouldn't put Sonic 2 in S because my S ranks are completely in a different realm than Sonic 2. So maybe that's controversial. I still think they're both great games, but S rank for me is reserved for very specific games. Moving on, Sonic CD. Sonic CD gets a lot of shit, and I don't know why because it's really fun and I like the time travel mechanic. I think the level design can get a little wacky and weird sometimes, but overall, the Metal Sonic stuff is cool. The music is good. The time travel stuff. I like Sonic CD. I first played it. Actually, I first played a few of these classic games in collections. But Sonic CD was on Gems Collection on the GameCube. So that's the first time I played Sonic CD. And, you know, though, I think I'll just throw it in A tier with Sonic 2. Because I like it. I like it a lot. But I'm not sure if it deserves that S. Sonic 3 and Knuckles, I think, is probably the best of these classic games out of Sonic 1, 2, and CD, to be honest. I just recently played Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I'm not splitting them up for this. I don't think, like, whatever. Yeah, I just recently played it on Sonic Origins, actually. Again, another controversial thing, but I thought it was fine. I played Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and I really enjoyed it, actually. I'm still in the process of getting all the Chaos Emeralds and getting Hypersonic, so I think that's only going to make my experience better, so I'm going to throw Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I'll give it the S tier. You know what? Because it's the best of the classic Sonic games. It'll feel weird to throw in A with Sonic 2 and CD, so I will give Sonic 3 and Knuckles the S tier, since I think it's the best of the classic games. Okay, now we are getting into the nitty-gritty, okay? The 3D platformers are the ones that I grew up with. The Sonic games from the GameCube onward, pretty much, are the ones that I hold dearest to my heart. I play the most. They keep me being a Sonic fan. So, with that being said, let's start with Sonic Adventure. Sonic Adventure is a weird one for me because I played Adventure 2 before I played this one. I actually had to go back, like, years later to play the first one. And while I enjoyed it, and there are things I think Adventure 2 could have kept to make Adventure 2 better, like the better radar system with Knuckles, and certain level design aspects from Sonic, and just Tails' gameplay style probably in general, I still don't think it's as good. I think overall, as an experience, I think Adventure 1 is worse than Adventure 2. So for that reason, I'm going to put Sonic Adventure in A. It's still really good. Still like Adventure. But you know where this is going. Sonic Adventure 2, easy S tier. Easiest S tier of my life, okay? Like, this is my quintessential favorite video game of all time, okay? I love it. I know it's got its problems. It has pretty awful mech stages. the treasure hunting can be better. But man, I love the story. I love the Sonic and Shadow gameplay. It's what introduced me to Sonic. Look, this might be a very biased opinion, but I know it's not uncommon. There are plenty of people who swear by Adventure 2, and I am no different. S tier. Sonic Heroes up next. Sonic Heroes is another game that I really love, but I realize is just a slippery mess. I still think there's a lot of fun to be had in Sonic Heroes, but it would be wrong of me to ignore the glaring problems it has with control. It feels like you're on ice all the time. The power characters' moves even make it worse because every punch you throw has you flung across the stage. There are bountiful bottomless pits everywhere. But you know what? It's still fun. It's still fun. The more you play it, the more you get used to the annoyance of the slippery gameplay, which is totally valid. It's a problem, don't get me wrong. But over the years, and even as a child playing it, I got used to it. I beat the game. You know, I loved it. I loved it. The music is some of the best in the entire series. The level themes, some of the best in the entire series. It's just such a good time. It's such a good time, and I'm sorry, but even with its issues, I'm throwing it an S. I'm throwing it an S. It's just one of those games that I just can't get enough of. So it's going into S. I don't know if I can be as merciful to Shadow the Hedgehog. Very similar gameplay to Sonic Heroes, I'd say. It really still has that slippery kind of feeling, but it's a game all about Shadow, and he's got a gun, and by God, you're gonna use guns in this game. Overall, I think the gameplay actually isn't that bad. I think people over-exaggerate how bad it is. I think the gunplay especially is pretty good in this game. Like, you know, you have your auto lock-on, you have a very wide variety of weapons to choose from. I don't think that's its problem. I think its problem is just at the concept level. Like, Shadow the Hedgehog with guns, and you're fighting aliens, and it just really messes with the story of, like, how Shadow was created, and Gerald Robotnik's motivations and things. So I don't know. I know it's silly at a concept level to have Shadow the Hedgehog, you know, wielding guns and weaponry and cursing and all this other silly, edgy things. But I still had a pretty good time with it, despite its horrible story and its horrible story progression with, like, the missions and having to do every single path to be able to get to the final story. Kind of a nightmare, but I still enjoyed it. I still have very fond memories. Me and my brother played a lot of the two-player mode, the versus mode. I'd be remiss if I had to put it anywhere lower than B, so it's going into B. Sonic 06. Oh boy! Okay, so Sonic 06, I, again, didn't actually grow up playing. I was 6 years old when it came out. And didn't have a PS3 or Xbox or anything, so missed that one until a little bit later, but I did end up playing it, and it is a doozy. We all know Sonic 06 isn't a fantastic game by itself. Like, the story is full of plot holes. The gameplay is just, it's an unfinished game. It is a buggy mess, but I will say, play the P06, the fan-made Sonic 06 remake or remaster, essentially, where it's basically this guy is fixing everything that 06 had wrong with it, and it is a actually very fun experience. So play P06 if you want Sonic 06. That game is actually fantastic, but Sonic 06 by itself, I gotta throw it in D, man. I gotta throw it in D. I won't say F because you can see the faintest idea of good game underneath all of it. If it just had enough time to be finished, I think it would have been good, but D tier as it is. Sonic and the Secret Rings. I hate this game. I hate this game so vehemently. Like, oh my God. I got this game as a gift. I was like, yeah, I have never played Secret Rings. And this was only a few years ago, like, and a coworker of mine was like, yeah, I have Secret Rings, you can just have it. It's been in the case forever. And I was like, oh yeah, sure. I thought I was in for a half-decent time. You know, how bad could it be? Oh, how naive I was, how wrong I was. Sonic and the Secret Rings controls like ass. It's just, that's my biggest problem with it, honestly, is it's the control. It's complete pain. It's just pain and suffering to even attempt to play this game. And I thought it was okay at first, like the first couple of stages or zones were okay. And I was like, yeah, this isn't too bad. It's like kind of wonky. But as soon as you get past those couple zones, you're gonna hate your life. You're gonna wish you were dead. So just don't play Sonic and the Secret Rings if you can help it. It's not a good time. F tier. Next is Sonic Unleashed. Sonic Unleashed, technically it has 2 versions, the Wii and PS2 versions, and then the HD PS3, Xbox 360 versions. I have played both. I grew up with the Wii version, but up to now I have played both. Very good. It's Sonic Unleashed. We all know that it has the Werehog stages, which aren't exactly the most well-regarded. I still think there's fun to be had in them, but I will admit, they go on for way too damn long. They overstay their welcome. They are just pretty mid beat 'em up sections, and the platforming in them is also not great. So I don't love the Werehog stages. I like the Werehog as a concept. Don't love its stages, but the daytime stages, some of the best stages, especially in the HD versions. The HD versions daytime stages, some of the best Sonic stages in the series. I like the Wii versions as well, but after playing the HD versions, it's very hard to compare and it's very hard to go back. But overall, Sonic Unleashed is just such a good time. It holds such a special place in my heart. I remember being so excited for it. I was 8 years old when this game came out, so I was in like 3rd, 4th grade, and I was begging my mom to get it for me. So much so that every time she came through the car pickup line, I would give her this little hand gesture to like see if she got it for me that day. And like every time she said no, it was like super disappointing. But when I finally got it, it was just heaven on earth. And I love Sonic Unleashed. So, and the music, don't get me started on the music, also incredible. So Sonic Unleashed for me is going into S, honestly. Sorry, not sorry. Unleashed is S tier. Sonic and the Black Knight, miles better than the Secret Rings. I actually very much enjoy the Black Knight. It's very hard to put on a tier list because it has its problems. Don't get me wrong. Like it's still another one of those kinda on rail situations. It's much more easy to control than Secret Rings. You have a lot more control over Sonic and like how fast he's going, or if you want to turn around, like you could back up, but it's still kind of weird because your backing up is like can't really see where you're going. You're just backflipping or whatever backwards. Not a fantastic game, but a good game nonetheless. I think I'm gonna put it in B tier. I'm gonna put it in B tier because I still had a good time, and I feel like C is too low for it, so B tier. Sonic Colors, though, another game that I hold very close to my heart. I got it for Christmas when I was 10 years old. Sonic Colors. I really still love Colors. I know it's controversial nowadays to say that it's a 3D Sonic game because there is a lot of 2D sections in this game, and that is true. That is true, but it's still really good. It is still really good. It's a really good time from the start to finish. Fantastic music. The story is pretty serviceable. You know, Eggman's doing some evil stuff with the wisps. You gotta stop him. Easy to understand. Just a good time. Just a good time. I'm gonna throw it. God, this is tough though. I want to throw it an S. I'll throw it an S. I don't care. This is my tier list. What am I even thinking about? I'm not. This is my tier list. Sonic Colors is S. I don't care. Fight with me. Sonic Generations. I'm gonna say it. Easy S tier. I'm sorry. Sonic Generations. It's so good. It's so good. Like I think Sonic Generations is honestly like modern Sonic, like boost formula Sonic, perfected. Like besides the Unleashed daytime stages, Sonic Generations modern stages are so good. So good. The classic stages are also really good, although I will admit I replay them less than I replay the modern stages because I just like 3D Sonic. That's just how it is. Visiting old locations, the music, the level design, the unlockables, the boss fights, everything is really good in Sonic Generations. The story is just, you know, Eggman, time travel, fixed time. And the only thing I can knock for Sonic Generations is that final boss. That final boss is pretty ass, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, Sonic Generations, S tier, easy. Sonic Lost World, a pretty big step away from modern Sonic gameplay, which was really weird because it was like Sonic Generations like perfected it, and then it was like Let's do something completely different. But so that was a little weird. I don't know where I'd put it on the tier list, to be honest. I do like it. The story is really weak because like the Deadly Six are just like one-note characters that don't really matter. I liked Sonic and Eggman teaming up again in a long time. That was cool. And the gameplay, again, people compare it a lot to like Mario Galaxy because of like the gravity-esque level design with like the tubes, the tubular level design, I guess you can call it. It was okay. It wasn't, well, I wouldn't call it like great. I think Sonic Lost World might be my first. Oh, but I can't put Black Knight above Lost World. You know what? How about this? I'll drop Black Knight to C and I will put Sonic Lost World in B. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Sonic Mania. Okay, Sonic Mania. I love Sonic Mania. I think actually Sonic Mania is my favorite classic title. Like, I know I said Sonic 3 is the best out of the classic titles, but I was really just talking Sonic 1, 2, and 3, and CD. Sonic Mania, I replayed Sonic Mania so many times. I was having such a good time with it constantly. And then the DLC with Ray and Mighty came out, and I was playing it even more. I really like Sonic Mania. There's not much to say about it. It's a classic Sonic game. You know the drill. But, I mean, the level design, the music, just everything. It feels like it's the most polished 2D Sonic game to me, and it's just a lot of fun. So I'm gonna put it in S tier. Honestly, I love Sonic Mania. Moving on to Sonic Forces, we all know this. Sonic Forces was a complete disappointment, to be honest with you. Sonic Forces, I was so excited because, you know, in between like Sonic Lost World and Sonic Forces, we had like Rise of Lyric and, you know, Sonic Boom titles. Those were trash, and we were all just waiting for Sonic to like get good again for a little bit. And Sonic Forces, seemingly it was going to be this insane, incredible situation. But it turned out that it was not. We got so much false advertising with, like, you know, Shadow being a villain again, Chaos coming back, all these things. It looked like it was going to be so ambitious, and it was just nothing. It was a nothing sandwich. It was a nothing burger. It was just, it fell so flat. The level design, the music, the character creator was kind of funny, I guess, but other than that, this game was just really unfortunate. So I'm going to put it in D, I think. And last but not least, Sonic Frontiers, a game that had so much riding on it, and it actually turned out to be pretty damn good. I actually live streamed my first impressions of Sonic Frontiers on this channel when it came out, and I was really enjoying it, but when I really started to love it was when I played that first Supersonic boss fight. I was floored. That thing had me popping out of my seat. I couldn't believe what I was playing. I couldn't believe that Forces was the last mainline title before this one. Like, it was such a night and day difference. It was insane. It's got its problems. You know, a lot of people will talk about, like, the lack of momentum on the ground. And, you know, pop-in was a big problem with me. Even on the PS5, there was a ton of pop-in. But even to this day, they're still updating this game. They added momentum in an update. They added the spin dash in. They added more modes. They added a boss rush. We're still waiting on the Final Horizon update, which is seemingly going to fix my biggest problem with this game, which was the finale. This game is filled with amazing supersonic boss fights, and then the final boss was a huge disappointment. It really took the wind out of my sails right before those credits rolled, and I was begging for more. And this new update that just got announced is seemingly it's going to give us everything that we've been asking for, like a new supersonic form, a better final boss, playable Knuckles, Tails, and Amy for the first time in forever. I think 06 was the last time you play as them in a mainline game like that. So, needless to say, I really like Sonic Frontiers. I played it a bunch. I 100%ed it. I think I gotta throw it in S tier, man. It's such a good time, and I'm still hyped over what's to come. It's still got its problems. It's still pretty unpolished in areas, but you know, it's just giving me a lot more trust in Sonic Team. I think with the proper resources and the proper team, they've got something here, man. They're on the up. There's only up to go from here, and Frontiers just really delivered on everything it promised to be and more. So pretty easily S tier for me. But yeah, that is my mainline Sonic games tier list, everybody. I've wanted to do this for a while, actually. I just never got around to it. And, but yeah, now I'm here. I'm doing it. I do want to do more of these, actually, because there is a lot more to talk about. I mean, there's the racing games. I have a lot to say about the Sonic Rider series. There's the mobile games, you know, the DS titles, the advanced titles. A lot to talk about. But I want to do the mainline games, and I think I got my points across pretty well here. You know, looking back on it, this does seem pretty accurate to me because the only game that I like really hated out of the ones I talked about today was Secret Rings. So it being an F tier makes sense. Forces in 06 and D, Black Knight and C. This looks pretty accurate to what I think about these games. So yeah. Let me know if you agree with me. Let me know if you disagree with me. Let me know if these are the worst Sonic opinions you've ever heard on the internet ever. I doubt it though. There is some crazy stuff being said on twitter.com. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Sorry I'm so inconsistent with uploading. You know, it comes and goes. But thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.